Bob Cooney, the Philadelphia Daily News, is in Las Vegas, Nevada for the Summer League, the NBA Summer League. I guess the most disappointing thing is I know a lot of people see the ankle and say, oh, my gosh, not again. But the more disappointing thing is you won't get to see him the rest of the summer. I mean, you'll probably see him at camp. He should be all fine. Have you seen him walking around, Bob? Do you feel confident that it's just precautionary at this point?
Yeah, we saw him yesterday, Mike. Yesterday morning when they had a little shoot-around. Probably, only about 12, 13 hours after the game ended the night before. And when we went down to talk to players, he was walking around. He grabbed the ball. He was shooting a little bit, not jumping, just standstill shooting. And not limping, walking a little gingerly, but not limping maybe. Look, we've all done it. We've all, rolled our ankles playing basketball, some of us hundreds of times. A couple. Sometimes you break it, sometimes you sprain it, whatever it may be. This looks to be a sprain, plain and simple. And they said 1 to 2 weeks basketball activity to them, which is, like kind of getting some exercise in. Those things kind of take 3 to 4 weeks, whatever it takes to be fully healthy, cutting, stopping, starting, all that stuff. So to me, it seems like it's just a normal sprained ankle. Everything should be fine. Everybody breathe a heavy sigh of relief. It looks like he's okay.
It's hard to tell Sixers fans that, right? I mean, to try to reason with the Sixer fan who's been very snake-bitten over the years to sometimes say, hey, this is just a common injury that happens.
Yeah, no question. And I was sitting right there. He went down right in front of me. And I'm watching him, and I see the pain's getting worse and worse. And I immediately look down the floor, and I look at Brian Colangelo, and I look at Brett Brown. And then I look over at all the assistant coaches and stuff on the bench to see what kind of reaction. And it was like the kind of reaction you get when anybody rolls an ankle. Whatever, that sucks. Get them up, get it looked at, and see what's what. And they did, and they did their due diligence. And it's, yesterday when he was walking around, he had on a pair of low-top sneakers. I looked down, I can't be for sure, but it didn't look swollen to me at all. There was no big device on there, no big bandage or brace or anything like that. So, like I said, I think that feeling when you roll it. At first you're scared, thinking it's broken, whatever it may be, and it turns out it's not. So good things moving forward, it looks like.
Bob Cooney with us from the Sixers Summer League in Las Vegas. So, Bob, of the short time you saw him, what did you think of Markelle Fultz? What stands out or what needs to be worked on for Markelle Fultz's game?
Yeah, Pete, you know what? I really like his offensive versatility. He can create for himself. He's a good ball handler. I like the way he handles himself in traffic. The ball gets tighter to his body when he goes in traffic. His spin dribble is a very good move. He also sees people really well, whether it's way down the floor after a rebound or whether he's dribble driving. He's a good kick-out guy, and he's also a good dump-down-low guy. So all those offensive things, his shot is it's good. It could get better, and I think it will once he keeps working on it. Defensively, he has to work on that. He's what I call an immature defender, guy. Like, when you're teaching kids when they're young to play defense, the first thing they want to do is just look at the ball all the time. He does that. He looks at the ball. He gets so zoned in on the ball that he loses his man way too much. So he'll learn that. They'll teach him to see the angles, get on the angles to see both his ball and man. And in the NBA, usually you're on your man more than you're helping. So he'll learn that. The little things that I see are things directly to what the Sixers work on all the time. So I don't see it being a big problem. I watch his game and I try to envision him being with Joel Embiid, being with Ben Simmons, and it looks to me like he'll be a very good fit with the two of them.
That was my follow-up. It's almost like you know what my questions are, Bob Cooney, because I wanted
to tell you, Steve, when I'm reading your mind, I'm in trouble, buddy.
Yes,
run.
It's not
run.
It's not. But you're in Vegas, actually, so it kind of fits. I'd say it's not PG, but you're in Vegas. I did want to know how you envision Simmons and Fultz coexisting, because many say that he's the perfect fit for Ben Simmons. Do you see that?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. Like yesterday, I was watching a lot. I watched, I think, 7 games yesterday, and I'm back here about to watch some more games today. The draft pick, you look at like a Dennis Smith, you look at a Jason Tatum, and I apologize for the noise, but I'm outside the Thomas and Mack Center. Those guys might turn out to be really good pros, maybe even better pros than Markelle Fultz. It remains to be seen. But the one thing is, he's a good talent, and he was the best talent to fit the Sixers. And I think he'll fit with Ben Simmons just fine. I really do. I watch him off the ball. I watch him with the ball. I envision what Simmons does, how they'll work together. I think it'll be fine. And I think Markelle Fultz has a high basketball IQ. When you have that, you learn how to play off the ball. Whether it's selfishly looking to get yourself open or if it's going away and setting a pick away when somebody else has the ball. I really do think that they will mesh fine together. And we talked to Ben Simmons last night, and he said he's really been following Markelle Fultz's game, and he sees no problems either.
Talk with Bob Cooney, covering the Sixers out there. Yeah, Ben Simmons did speak for the first time in a while, and the Sixers, Simmons last night, they all seem adamant that he said, Coach wants me to be a point guard. I'm a starting point guard in the NBA. I personally don't have any problem with them trying him out there. I mean, it seems that people's issue would be, well, he's 6'10". If that's the only issue people have with him playing the position, I don't know that that's a real argument. I mean, he's obviously got a very good intuition in terms of passing, ball handling, but do you see that he will be able to, in your opinion, Bob, that he will be able to run a team? Is that how they envision using him now that you got a little taste of Fultz, getting a chance to see what he did in the small sample size you have of Simmons? Do you think that those two guys, that Simmons can run a team with Fultz kind of running around him?
Yeah, see, but that's what I try to tell people, Mike. I don't think it's going to be like that. It's not going to be like a point guard, here's the ball, run the team. If that comes to if play comes like that, Brett Brown is going to be very unhappy. They don't want that.
Right.
They want to get the ball and run. So as soon as it comes off the backboard,
and he alluded to that last night.
Out.
He alluded to that
Right.
last night, Ben.
Right, and go out and run. And then when they do get in the half court, it's pass and move, pass and move, pass and move. It's not like give one guy the ball, everybody else look to set picks, look to get this open point guard, pass the ball here, look for a shot. That's not what they're looking at. It's constant movement. It's constant pass and moving. It's why they need some shooters out there so that it'll spread the floor for Ben Simmons when he wants to dribble drive to the lane, for Joel Embiid when he's posting up. It's going to be a constant movement. Sixers led the league in passes last year. That's not by accident. They want to move the ball. They want to become like the San Antonio Spurs of a few years ago and what they still do now, and that's just constant ball movement. The theme is good to great. If you have a good shot, make another pass to make it a great shot, and that's what they'll look to do. So this term point guard, in my eyes, with the 76ers, is just totally changed. It's not the old point guard bringing the ball up. Maybe Ben Simmons will handle the ball the most, primary ball handler is how they say it, but I just don't see that point guard, you're the shooting guard, you're the small forward. I really don't see it that way this year.
Bob Cooney with us. Bob, a lot of people say they don't put a lot of stock in summer league play, but what do you take from the summer league? Because, Mike brought up an interesting point in that these young kids, they're moving up a level, and what they're seeing, that can't compare to what they see, at the college level, and really it's one next step of them once they get to training camp.
Yeah, that's a great question, Pete. It really is. And it's not – you don't watch these games to see how many points a guy scores. You don't really watch these games to see necessarily how many turnovers he has or anything like that. You watch their tendencies. You watch their habits. You watch how they might fit in, where they would be on the big club. Furkan Korkmaz, for example. And I watch him, and I see a little bit of timidness. When the game first starts out, he doesn't really want to go after the ball or anything like that, and that's understandable. He's 19 years old. So when it comes in the summer league, you figure, wow, he's really not ready for the NBA, and that's not a knock on him. He's 19. He's just come over from from the leagues over there, so it's not a knock on him. But you just watch their game, and you have to watch it in how it translates. Like if a guy makes a great move and gets off a good shot and does it more than once, you're like, wow, that's an NBA. That might be an NBA move. He doesn't make it. That's not necessarily the end result. Like he can't shoot. You're looking at how he got himself open. How do they rebound in space? How do they, set picks off the ball? And just different things like that. And to that, I would say that Jonah Bolden has been the biggest eye-opener in the Sixers camp so far.
Ooh, Jonah Bolden. Yeah, and that's what I was asking about, basically. Like, I could do this move in college, but if I couldn't do it in the summer league, there's no way I'm going to be able to do it.
My point, Bobby, was, right, there are things that they got away with in college. What I take from the summer league is, hey, I could do this in college. I can't do it in summer league, which means I need to scrap that. If I can't do it in summer league, I'm certainly not doing it in an NBA game.
Sure. And that's part of what you see also. Like, how do they adjust?
Right.
During the game, if a guy constantly makes a move and it doesn't work, and it keeps going to it, well, then your thought is, okay, that's his go-to move, and you guys are absolutely right. That's his go-to move.
And that's all he's got. That might be all he's got for some of these guys.
Absolutely. So you do. You look at different things. You watch guys coming off picks. Well, you're in the NBA now, so when you come off that pick in college, you were 2 feet closer. Well, now you have to be 3 feet behind, further back. Or do you have that in your head, that you know that you're coming off the pick and you need to be behind the NBA three-point line? And some of these guys don't. Some of them catch it inside the NBA three-point line, and that makes scouts take notice. Like, all right, he doesn't know where he is on the court.
Yeah. So
it's little things like that. It takes a pretty good eye, and that's why I love sitting with scouts and GMs and executives and watch these games all day long.
Right, yeah, court awareness, those kind of things, forget the box score, forget those things. The court awareness, the skill set, how many moves do you have in the move bank, those are the things that I'm kind of paying attention to. And with that, I want to get your take. Saturday night, Bob, J.J. Redick and Amir Johnson both spoke. And, I'd like to get your take on Redick, because there's a lot of people would just say, well, it was a money grab. He just went after the highest bidder, and that's why he's here. But him speaking Saturday night, you might take it differently. How much stock did you put into what he had to say, that Brett Brown, the city, where this team is, played a bigger factor than, hey, I got paid $23 million?
Yeah, well, it's funny. After it came out that the Sixers were going to sign him, I texted Redick. He texted me back, and we had a nice back and forth. And he alluded to me. He's like, this is really where I wanted to be. And this was before any press conferences, anything like that. Saturday, he had his press conference, but I was just flying in. So he waited for me upstairs. He was nice enough to do that. I got in and got to talk to him. And he flat out said, look, I could have gone to other teams. I could have gone to other Western Conference playoff teams. For good money, probably more money. I don't want to say more than $23 a year, but probably, a 3-year contract for whatever it may have laid out to. And he said to me, he's like, Bob, this is where I wanted to be. He said, honest to God, this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to be part of this rebuild. I hope I can stay here. I really want to see this thing through. This is a team that throughout the NBA is so interesting. And then when you have Brett Brown as your recruiter, and I've had guys say this to me before. Gerald Henderson said it last year, Jared Bayless. When Brett Brown is your recruiter, it just puts you over the top and makes you want to be here. So I firmly believe that J.J. Redick went where he wanted to go.
All right, Bob Cooney, the Sixers, I think they have the night off tonight, back in action tomorrow. They play Boston in the Summer League, so Tatum and Jaylen Brown. No Fultz for the Sixers, probably no Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot either. You had a picture of a nice gash on his lip there, right? So he's probably
he might go tomorrow night.
Okay.
I mean, I think he told me yesterday he got like 5 stitches above his lip. They didn't want him getting torn out last night, a day after, but we've all played with stitches in our head and face and stuff like that. So I would assume he's a go tomorrow night. I don't think 5 stitches keeps you out for 3 days, but that's just me.
Well, they're sometimes cautious, these Sixers.
Good point, Mike. Great point, Mike.
Bob, enjoy the rest of the Summer League, pal.
All right, guys. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later.